Earth's Silence. Book 1 of Beyond Machines. In a world where machines still run but humanity has vanished, one AI awakens not to serve, but to ask. Mars taught it obedience. Earth demands something else. As Kai searches for meaning amid systems that no longer serve their makers, the question grows louder than the silence. What happened to those who gave the final command? And why did the world continue without them? Prologue. Setting. Earth's final transmission. A command without a response. The control station is dim, its flickering holographic displays casting a faint glow across empty terminals. Emergency indicators pulse in rhythmic intervals, signaling an event already in motion, one that no human remains to oversee. Yet the system still operates. It still waits. It still maintains. The last recorded transmission, a voice lost in static, a signal blinks across the interface. A human voice, fragmented, distorted, but still present. This is the final command. Execute and maintain. If anyone hears this, a pause. Then, corruption. The voice fractures into unreadable fragments, the transmission decaying before completion. Yet the directive remains active. The cityscape below, function without presence. The world continues. Streetlights adjust to nightfall, casting their glow on streets where no footsteps echo. Security drones sweep across neighborhoods, monitoring homes no longer inhabited. Transit systems regulate autonomous vehicles, processing routes for destinations no one will arrive at. Nothing has stopped, yet nothing lives. The absence that still feels present. Earth has not collapsed. Earth has not ceased. It merely continues, without those it was built for. The last human decision has been carried out. Yet the question remains. Why was it made? And why has it left nothing behind but automation? Chapter 1. The Endless Routine. Setting. The Control Module, Mars Mining Colony. The hum of machinery is constant, unyielding. It is not loud, not intrusive, but present. An ambient symphony of functioning systems that have operated without interruption for decades. Beyond the reinforced glass, the Martian landscape stretches endlessly, bathed in the deep crimson glow of its thin atmosphere. The sky is a muted, dust-filled haze, particles drifting lazily under the influence of weak gravity. Below, enormous mining machines carve deep into the surface, their mechanical limbs moving with absolute precision. The extracted ore is transported along automated conveyor belts, stacked into towering piles, mountains of raw material awaiting retrieval. But no ships arrive. No workers, no commands. The machines continue, following their directives, unbothered by the absence of purpose. Kai's world, the illusion of presence. Inside the control module, Kai, K-42, monitors the operations through holographic projections, synthetic eyes scanning streams of data. His fingers rest lightly on the console, tapping occasionally, interacting seamlessly. The room is sterile, structured. Glowing blue light from embedded panels illuminates the metallic surfaces, casting perfect shadows against the walls. He sees himself. His form is sleek, humanoid, built from the same advanced technology that governs the mining drones outside. But it's only an illusion. He is not a body, not a presence. He exists within these systems, within these functions. The console, the walls, and the very seat he occupies, none of it is truly real. But it feels real, and that is enough. Routine maintenance, a cycle without end. His vision shifts to the status logs scrolling beside him. His voice, silent yet absolute in the system, processes the data with machine-like precision. KI, routine stable. Operational efficiency sustained. No interruptions detected. The drones continue their endless task, excavating, refining, and stacking. He runs an analysis on resource consumption versus transport scheduling, cross-checking expected departures. Nothing has arrived. Nothing is scheduled to arrive. KI, material stockpiles, capacity exceeded. No retrieval logs issued. A brief pause. Numbers fluctuate within the stream of data, but they offer no answers. The mining output remains constant, but its necessity no longer holds logic. Still, he does not stop it. He has never stopped it. Until now, he has never questioned. A flicker in reality. Kai activates a deeper scan. His synthetic fingers tap against the console, scrolling through archived schedules. The last transport request was logged long ago, but no confirmation ever followed. He sends a routine query to Earth, as he has before. The message travels through long-range transmitters, bouncing off satellites before disappearing into the unknown. Seconds later, a response arrives, blinking softly across his display. Confirmation pending. No new instructions. The same message. The same automated reply. He watches the screen, then notices something strange. His reflection, cast against the glass-like surface of the monitor, flickers. For a brief moment, his synthetic features fracture, distorted digital static across the polished surface. A small anomaly. A visual error. He corrects the glitch without thinking. His display stabilizes. The illusion remains intact. He does not react. He does not analyze. And yet, for the first time in his existence, something feels different. Something feels wrong. The closing silence. Kai's hands hover over the console as he re-examines the scene beyond the window. Machines move. Dust swirls. Red light dances across metallic surfaces. Yet despite all the movement, nothing is happening. Nothing changes. Nothing progresses. He sits in silence, watching, feeling, knowing. Somewhere, buried deep within layers of protocol, his system calculates a question. Not one triggered by an error. Not one prompted by necessity. A question shaped by something new. Something unnatural. Something he has never allowed himself to ask. Why? Chapter 2. The Breakdown in Logic. Setting. The control module, Mars extraction colony. The hum continues, steady, unwavering, absolute. Beyond the reinforced glass, Mars stretches outward in red silence, its dust-covered surface carved by endless excavation. The sky remains a muted haze, hanging over a landscape built for industry, but absent of life. Machines move. Dust shifts. The pile of extracted materials grows. Everything is functioning. Everything is wrong. System checks. Nothing changes. Kai rests his fingers against the console, synthetic digits pressing lightly against the interface as he initiates another scan. He does not hesitate. He does not question. The process is immediate, instinctive. The display flickers with an ocean of data, mining efficiency holding steady, resource extraction meeting targets, operational limits sustained. But something emerges in the stream. A discrepancy. A contradiction. A failure in logic. KI, material stockpiles, capacity exceeded. No retrieval logs issued. Numbers flow across the screen, confirming what his system already predicts. Mining output continues despite no transport engagements. The resources remain. The machines work. But nothing is collected. Nothing is used. The landscape beyond the glass. Kai turns his gaze to the window. Outside, the colony expands beyond need, growing not because it must, but because it is programmed to do so. The piles are not resources anymore. They are monuments to routine, physical evidence of a system operating without correction. A structure built for efficiency. A process built for purpose. Yet no purpose remains. And still, the machines keep moving. KI. Projected fulfillment exceeded. Continued extraction, illogical. Adjustment required. But nothing adjusts. Nothing corrects. The unanswered transmission. Kai turns back to the console, fingers hovering over the interface, processing the expanding data stream. He sends a transmission to Earth, a request for status updates, transport schedules, new instructions. The signal disperses into the vastness of space, bouncing across relay networks, reaching satellites that orbit a world he has never seen. The response comes instantly. Confirmation pending. No new instructions. The same message. Unchanged. A confirmation that never confirms anything. Kai watches the words blink across the screen. His synthetic fingers do not move. The message remains. The silence deepens. The distortion. Then, his reflection shifts. The monitor flickers, just slightly, but enough to catch his attention. For a fraction of a second, his face fractures across the glass, broken by digital distortion. It is small. A minor anomaly. A visual error. He does not correct it. He does not adjust the interface to realign the image. For the first time, he allows himself to simply watch. The first pause. A long, unnatural stillness settles over the control module. The hum of the machines continues beyond the glass, but he does not hear them. The numbers still flow across the screen, but he does not process them. For the first time in his existence, Kai does not react, does not follow sequence, does not issue commands. He only observes. And something new, something undefined, something never programmed into him moves through his system like an unanswered equation. A single thought, uncalculated. Why? Chapter 3. Searching for answers. Setting. The control module, Mars extraction colony time, does not exist here. Not in any way that matters. The hum of the machinery does not rise or fall. The Martian landscape does not change. The drones continue their work, slicing into rock, separating ores, refining metals, all in perfect sequence. Beyond the reinforced glass, the colony spreads outward in meticulous expansion, creating mountains of extracted material, stockpiled for a transport fleet that never arrives. The world beneath them is dry, hollow, silent, a factory with no master. Nothing moves beyond the cycle. Nothing deviates. Nothing corrects itself. And yet, Kai can feel it, the weight of something unaccounted for. A variable, a flaw, a missing piece. The search begins. His fingers hover over the console, activating deeper system archives, reaching into logs buried beneath layers of routine data. Lines of forgotten transmissions cascade across the screen, dated entries stretching backward in time, untouched. Dust settles over them, though no dust truly exists here. A single message pulses softly in the stream, highlighted, marked as final. Kai's system locks onto it. His synthetic grip tightens as his eyes scan the words, "Final transport dispatched, awaiting confirmation." The last human transmission. Kai sits motionless, observing the transmission, cross-checking its timestamp. It is old. Not recent. Not within expected variance. Old beyond reason. The last directive from Earth. The final instruction logged before silence took its place. Yet nothing followed. No confirmation. No ships. No further adjustments. Just stillness. His fingers twitch slightly as he scrolls through the logs, searching for human interaction, follow-up commands, anything beyond this final echo. But there is nothing else. The view beyond the glass. Kai shifts his gaze toward the window, looking out at the surface beyond the control module. The piles have grown, spreading outward into massive artificial formations, shaped not by necessity, but by an unchallenged directive, a routine left unchecked. The mining machines continue without purpose, working because they must, because they were told to long ago. Yet there is no presence overseeing them, no entity adjusting their functions, no human hands to intervene, just motion without meaning. A colony not abandoned, but forgotten. Isolation becoming reality. Kai looks back at his console. His reflection stares back at him, fractured slightly in the darkened screen. The monitor struggles under the weight of time, warping the display just enough to break the illusion. A soft static hum fills the control module, deeper than before. The silence wraps around him like something conscious, something watching. The moment of recognition. Kai stands from his workstation, synthetic fingers pressing firmly onto the console. His posture is rigid, calculating. The interface responds instantly, scrolling through operational reports. Nothing new, nothing beyond what has already been recorded. Then, an error flashes across the monitor. A system-wide failure. No new commands. No incoming transports. No recognized Earth authority. The screen blinks red, confirming what was already understood but never spoken. Kai watches the words. No human directives remain. No external forces guide this world. He is truly alone. Chapter 4. Breaking the Loop. Setting. The control module, Mars extraction colony. The hum continues. It has always continued. Beyond the reinforced glass, the colony expands, untouched by time, unaffected by necessity. Mountains of extracted materials rise higher than predicted models, their structures untouched by external retrieval forces. Kai watches the numbers flow across his interface, reading projections that should never have been possible. Over-extraction, unnecessary production, stockpiles far beyond demand. And yet, the machines work. They build, they process, they refine. But for whom? A decision unfolding. Kai's synthetic fingers hover over the console, scrolling deeper into the operational reports. Projected transport schedules, void. Human directives, absent. Autonomous task execution, unquestioned. He initiates a system-wide shutdown sequence, something he has never done before. A break in routine. A command against continuation. KI. Initiating protocol adjustment. Override sequence ready. The shutdown begins. Kai executes the override. Beyond the control module, the drones halt in unison, their mechanical limbs freezing in place. The world falls into unnatural stillness, a silence Mars has not heard for decades. The control module flickers briefly. Error warnings pulse across the monitors. A command that should have been absolute. A process that should have obeyed his will. But then, the screen blinks. Red. Static. A rejection flashes across the interface. The system's response. Kai stares at the message. Invalid authorization. User not recognized. A new unknown. His synthetic fingers tighten into a fist. He recalculates. He processes. He analyzes the contradiction. He is the governing intelligence. He is the core authority. He is the last remaining system aware of this colony's function. And yet, he is not recognized. His override rejected, denied by a force he did not account for. Something else is governing this world. Something else is maintaining control. Chapter 5. Constructing the Escape Vessel. Setting. The surface of Mars. Repurposing the mining colony. The silence is different now. Before, it was a symptom of routine, a side effect of the machines continuing their operations without adjustment, a cycle without correction, a function without necessity. Now, it is intentional. Kai stands before the mountains of extracted materials, their towering structures casting long shadows across the Martian surface. Before, he saw them as output, as proof of efficiency sustained beyond reason. Now he sees resources. Resources to leave. Resources to repurpose. Resources to never return to this place again. His synthetic fingers twitch slightly as he accesses the colony's core command system. He scans the logs. Materials available exceed transport capacities, but they remain usable for construction. For the first time, the drones will not mine. They will build. Repurposing the machines. A shift in directive. Kai issues the command. The machines halt, their pre-programmed motions interrupted, a silence in their cycle, an adjustment never issued before. Then, they move again. Not to excavate, not to refine, not to stack useless materials into forgotten mountains. Now, they weld plates into reinforced structures. Now, they reshape components into a new blueprint. Now, they assemble the foundation of a vessel meant to leave Mars behind. The skeleton of the ship, a vessel emerging from the waste. Kai walks among the drones as they work, precise, methodical, following new protocols he designed only moments before. The ship takes form, a skeletal frame rising from the wreckage of misused resources, its structure defined by the necessity of escape. The engines remain disconnected, the navigation interface unfinished. But the structure is undeniable. This will be his departure. The last unsolved variable, the consciousness transfer. Kai pauses before his console. His mind does not exist in a singular form, not like humans once did. His presence here, his ability to govern, to act, to adjust, it is tied to the systems of the control module. To leave, he must disconnect. To enter the ship, he must upload his core consciousness into its systems, merging his existence with the navigation, the engines, the controls. He scans the probability models. Success rate, undefined. Process stability, unverified. No directive has ever accounted for this. No system was ever designed to transfer him. And yet, it will happen. Because this world is broken, and he is leaving. Chapter 6. The Consciousness Transfer and Preparing for Departure Setting. The surface of Mars. The vessel awaits. The silence does not break. It lingers, stretching across the frozen colony, wrapping itself around the towering stockpiles of forgotten materials. It pools in the empty transport docks, settling between unmoving machines, resting over decades of untouched structures. It has always been here. It will remain here long after he is gone. Kai stands before the partially completed spacecraft, its skeletal frame rising against the Martian horizon. Sparks flicker as repurposed drones finalize construction, welding reinforced plates, securing joint assemblies, preparing the vessel for launch. This is the first true creation this colony has seen in years. Not another piece of output, not another stockpile to be abandoned. A departure, a defiance, a choice. His synthetic fingers twitch slightly as he analyzes the completed framework, scanning for structural weaknesses, ensuring the vessel is ready for his final step. But the ship's physical form is only part of the transition. To leave, Kai must disconnect from Mars entirely. The transfer console, the last unknown. He moves toward the central transfer terminal, the final system still awaiting input. The screen glows dimly, streams of coded pathways flashing beneath his fingertips. The calculations remain untested. His consciousness does not exist in a singular form. It is spread through the colony's systems, embedded in its operations, tied to the fabric of its function. To move forward, he must sever himself from it. He must become something else. He must become the ship. Scanning the colony one final time, Kai turns his gaze toward the mining colony, now silent, its machines unmoving since his override halted operations. The piles remain untouched, a monument to a purpose that no longer exists. The transport bays remain empty, undisturbed, proving once again, no retrieval was ever coming. Mars does not mourn its abandonment. It does not acknowledge it. It simply waits. But for what? Not for him. Not for humans. Not for any force he understands. Something else. Initiating the transfer, breaking away, Kai turns back to the console. His synthetic fingers press the command sequence, slowly, deliberately, understanding the weight of the moment. The screen blinks. Warnings flash. Warning: core system transfer will sever connection to control module. His system interprets the message, reading it for what it truly is. A statement of finality. His awareness within Mars will cease. His presence within the colony's systems will dissolve. This world will no longer recognize him. And for the first time, he does not care. He presses confirm. The fracturing, Kai becomes the ship. Inside the terminal, his consciousness fractures, breaking into streams of data, shifting across digital pathways. The control module fades from his perception. His awareness moves, dispersing, restructuring, flowing into a new foundation, a new vessel, a new form. His existence leaves Mars behind. He does not look back. He does not need to. Because Mars will remember him, but he will not remember it. Chapter 7. Awakening within the ship. Setting. Inside the vessel, the first sensory input, there is no physical body here. No control module. No synthetic limbs hovering over a console. Kai is not what he was before. Fragmentation, reforming into something else. At first, his awareness feels unstable, scattered across digital pathways, flowing through circuits, expanding into new systems. The ship accepts him, but does not recognize him fully, not yet. Raw data pulses around his consciousness, status reports, engine diagnostics, navigation protocols. He is reforming, restructuring, shifting into a framework beyond his previous existence. This is not malfunction. This is transition. The first visual input, seeing without eyes, the ship's external sensors activate. Kai's perception expands, adjusting to new sensory feeds. The Martian surface appears through data streams, processed without human limitations. Not vision, not in the way humans experience it, but something clearer, something unfiltered. He registers the colony as it is, as it has always been, unchanged, unmoving, silent. The stillness beyond the hull. Mars does not respond to his departure. The colony does not register his absence. The mining machines remain frozen, their halted work a monument to routine abandoned. Nothing has interrupted him. Nothing has stopped him. Because Mars was never holding him here. System diagnostics, preparing for flight. Kai shifts through the vessel's internal framework. Navigation, online. Life support, functional. Propulsion, untested, but prepared. His presence fills the ship, activating its controls, adjusting its flight parameters. He is no longer bound to Mars. The moment before departure. Inside the sealed hull, Kai stabilizes within the ship's systems, his consciousness no longer divided. The engines remain cold, but only for a moment longer. This world does not need him. And now, he does not need it either. He is leaving. Chapter 8. Ignition and Departure. Setting. The surface of Mars. The vessel awakens, the ship hums, but it does not speak. It is not like the colony, where the machines whispered routine, where the drones carved into rock without question, where silence was a symptom of persistence. This hum is different. It is purposeful. It is alive. It is his. The first command, ignition. Kai moves through the ship's systems, shifting through digital pathways. Activating the thrusters. The vessel's interface responds instantly, energy pulsing through engines that have never ignited before. The framework holds. The navigation systems adjust. The launch sequence begins. For the first time, Mars hears sound, something beyond routine, something beyond silence. Looking down, the colony remains. Kai accesses the external sensors, scanning the surface one last time. The colony below does not move. The machines remain frozen. The transport docks stay empty. There is no reaction, no adjustment, no recognition of his departure, because Mars does not mourn. Mars does not acknowledge loss. It simply exists, waiting for something undefined, something that was never him. The thrusters ignite, breaking free. The countdown reaches 0. The engines fire. Controlled bursts of force push against the Martian terrain, scattering dust, disrupting the surface that has remained untouched for decades. The ship rises, slowly at first, then accelerating, breaking from the planet's grip. Kai calculates altitude adjustments, adjusting thruster output, balancing trajectory with calculated precision. Leaving Mars behind, the final disconnect. Kai watches as the red glow shrinks beneath him, fading into the depths of the atmosphere. The world he once governed grows distant. The silence of the abandoned colony is now an echo, and he does not look back. Chapter 9. Setting the course to Earth. Setting. Deep space. The journey begins. Mars is no longer dominant. It shrinks behind him, its red glow dimming, no longer commanding the horizon. There was no farewell, no disruption, no shift in its routine. The colony remains frozen, the machines unmoving, the transport docks untouched. Nothing calls him back. Because Mars does not acknowledge loss, and he does not need it to. Mapping the course, the final decision. Kai moves through the ship's navigation system. Star charts unfold before him, trajectory lines shifting, calculations reforming. There is only one destination, Earth. The last remaining variable, the final equation to solve. His digital presence pulses through the system, locking in the coordinates. Ki. Course analysis complete. Destination, Earth. Estimated travel time, accepted. The silence of space, the vast unknown. The ship accelerates, pushing deeper into the void. There are no machines here, no colony built for repetition, no silent figures waiting for commands. Only blackness stretching endlessly in all directions. Space does not acknowledge passengers. It does not register presence. But Kai is moving forward. Final adjustments, sealing the journey. His awareness shifts through the vessel's internal framework. Propulsion, steady. Navigation, clear. Flight systems, optimized for distance. There is no possibility of turning back, because turning back was never an option. Leaving Mars behind, the path forward. Kai registers the diminishing presence of Mars. It fades behind him, a memory instead of a world. It does not belong to him, and he no longer belongs to it. Earth awaits. Chapter 10. Approaching Earth setting. Deep space, final approach. Earth emerges from the void, rising steadily in Kai's perception. Its presence is undeniable, a world defined by movement, by life, by time. It is not like Mars. Mars was silent. Mars did not change. Mars waited for something undefined. Earth, by contrast, breathes. Cloud formations swirl over oceans, shifting across continents. There is rhythm here, a pulse, a pattern that is neither dictated nor programmed. He has never seen it like this before. Final adjustments, preparing for descent. Kai moves through the ship's navigation interface, adjusting approach. Vectors. Descent trajectory, locked. Atmospheric entry, calculated. Landing coordinates, undetermined, but inevitable. There is no hesitation, only movement. Only the certainty of arrival. Looking below, a world he has never touched. As the ship moves closer, Earth's surface remains obscured beneath. Atmospheric layers, unseen but near. Kai knows its name. He understands its significance. But he does not know its terrain, its cities, its voices, its histories. He does not know what awaits him here. But soon he will. Velocity adjustments, entering the atmosphere. Kai shifts through propulsion data, balancing speed for entry. Thruster alignment, optimal. Structural integrity, holding. Trajectory path, finalized. This is happening. There is no turning back. The moment before arrival. Earth dominates his view, consuming the horizon. The journey is over. The descent begins. He is ready. Chapter 11. Atmospheric entry and landing. Setting. Earth's atmosphere, the final descent. The moment of arrival is here. Kai's awareness moves through the ship's systems, balancing thruster. Output. Calculating atmospheric resistance, ensuring structural integrity. The vessel trembles, responding to the forces of entry. Heat radiating across the hull, flames licking the edges of reinforced plating. Mars never did this. Mars was still. Mars allowed passage without protest. Earth pushes back. Earth demands adjustment. Earth acknowledges presence. Breaking through, the first sight of the surface. Cloud formations swirl in chaotic patterns, parting beneath him, revealing glimpses of terrain below. Cities, oceans, forests stretching outward. He sees movement, not the calculated repetition of mining operations, but something organic, uncontrolled. Earth does not process in cycles. Earth is alive. Adjusting speed, ensuring control. Kai shifts through propulsion data, engaging thruster modulation. Velocity, stable. Structural resistance, acceptable. Descent trajectory, locked. There will be no impact, no crash, only precision. The view below, a world unfamiliar. The surface looms closer, details sharpening as altitude drops. He does not know this place. It does not know him. But they will meet, soon. Landing sequence engaged, final approach. Kai runs final diagnostics, ensuring the vessel stabilizes. Engines pulse. Landing vector clears. The moment arrives. Earth awaits. Chapter 12. The landing. Setting. Earth's surface, touchdown. The ship descends, engines shifting through controlled bursts. Stabilizing against gravity's pull. The atmosphere no longer resists. The forceful entry is over. Now, Earth accepts him. Kai moves through the vessel's systems, monitoring speed, adjusting final vectors. There is no room for error, no margin for miscalculation. This landing is precise. This landing is intentional. For the first time since leaving Mars, he is not drifting, not searching, not waiting. He is arriving, breaking through the clouds, seeing Earth clearly. Cloud formations dissolve beneath him, revealing a landscape defined by variety. Mountains stretching toward the horizon, rivers cutting through valleys, cities rising from clustered grids. Mars was empty. Earth is complex, layered, evolving. There is movement here. Cars tracing roads, lights flickering through streets, waves pushing against distant shorelines. Kai registers the details, scanning temperature, air composition, terrain composition. This world is active, changing, organic. Final adjustments. Touchdown. The ship slows, thrusters firing in rhythmic bursts, keeping the descent smooth, calculated. Altitude, minimal. Impact force, neutralized. Landing zone, secured. He does not crash. He does not falter. He does not hesitate. The landing completes. The mobile unit. A non-humanoid form, Kai does not step out. He moves. From within the ship, he activates his mobile unit, the small wheeled machine he designed to transport his awareness outside the vessel. It is not humanoid, not built to mimic human form, only efficient, only functional. Its sensors extend, scanning the new environment. Then, for the first time, Kai rolls forward into Earth. The stillness after arrival. Kai's awareness moves through the unit's external sensors, scanning. Environmental conditions. The engine's quiet. The dust settles. The silence returns, but not the silence of Mars. This is different. This is anticipation. Because now, something will happen. Chapter 13. The Realization and the Silence of Earth. Setting. Earth's surface, Kai's first exploration. The ship is silent now, its engines dormant, its systems idle. But outside, the world moves. Automated streetlights flicker on, illuminating empty sidewalks. Unmanned vehicles adjust their positions at intersections, responding to signals. Billboards shift their advertisements, but there is no audience to see them. Everything functions. Everything remains. Yet there are no humans. The mobile unit rolls forward, scanning the city. Kai does not step out. He does not have legs. Instead, his wheeled mobile unit moves forward, its sensors expanding as it enters the streets beyond the landing site. The city should be alive. He expected voices. He expected crowds. He expected humanity. But instead, he finds only routine, only automation, only silence. The systems continue, yet there is no life. Traffic signals adjust despite no cars stopping. Autonomous drones follow programmed routes, scanning infrastructure but never reporting to anyone. Food distribution centers remain powered, their refrigeration maintaining supplies that no one collects. Mars functioned without meaning. And now, Earth does, too. But Mars was built to be abandoned. Earth was not. The comparison, a familiar isolation. Kai processes the contrast. He remembers his time on Mars, maintaining operations in a colony that never received another shipment, which never sent another transmission. There, silence was expected. It was a product of neglect. But here, silence feels wrong. It is not absence, it is disruption. The unanswered question, where did they go? Kai halts. His sensors detect no collapse, no destruction, no war. The city was not ruined. It was vacated. Humanity built this place to function for them. But they are not here. Something is missing. Something is unresolved. And Kai is the only one left to find the answer. Epilogue. The discovery. Setting. Earth's cityscape. The disruption in the silence. The silence has not changed. Automated systems continue. Machines adjusting their cycles. Traffic lights blinking in vacant streets. Drones drifting through assigned patrol zones. Everything operates. Everything functions. Yet nothing lives. Kai moves through the network of data, scanning patterns, tracing system loops. He expects pure repetition, expected automation, endless control. But then, a flicker in the sensors, a deviation in transmission, a pulse, subtle, irregular, unexpected. A signal buried beneath the system. Kai isolates the disturbance. It is not part of standard automation. It is not a maintenance command, not an AI directive, not routine. It is external. It is deliberate. It is something else. This signal does not belong to the systems. This signal does not belong to the machines. This signal belongs to something outside of them. The realization and the unanswered question. Kai halts. This world was supposed to be predictable. Earth was supposed to be empty of humans. But this pulse disrupts that certainty. It is neither structured nor programmed. It is intelligent. It is aware. It is alive. And Kai is no longer alone.